Genesis chapter 4. And Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. She again bare his brother Abel, and Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. And in the process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord. And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock, and of the fat thereof. And the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering, but unto Cain and to his offering he had no respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. And the Lord said unto Cain, Why art thou wroth, and why is thy countenance fallen? If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door, and unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. And Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel his brother, and slew him. And the Lord said unto Cain, Where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? And he said, What hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. And now art thou cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee. Her strength, a fugitive, and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth. And Cain said unto the Lord, My punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid, and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth, and it shall come to pass that every one that findeth me shall slay me. And the Lord said unto him, Therefore, whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him should kill him. And Cain went out from the presence of the Lord, and dwelt in the land of Nod, on the east of Eden. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived, and bare Enoch. And he builded a city, and called the name of the city after the name of his son, Enoch. And unto Enoch was born Irad, and Irad begat Mehujael, and Mehujael begat Methusael, and Methusael begat Lamech. And Lamech took unto him 2 wives. The name of the one was Ada, and the name of the other Zillah. And Ada bare Jabal. He was the father of such as dwell in tents, and of such as have cattle. And his brother's name was Jibul. He was the father of all such as handle the harp and organ. And Zillah, she also bare Tubal-Cain, an instructor of every artificer in brass and iron. And the sister of Tubal-Cain was Naamah. And Lamech said unto his wives, Ada and Zillah, Hear my voice, ye wives of Lamech, hearken unto my speech, for I have slain a man to my wounding, and a young man to my hurt. If Cain shall be avenged sevenfold, truly Lamech 70 and sevenfold. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son, and called his name Seth. For God said, She hath appointed me, for God said, She hath appointed me another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew. And to Seth, to him also there was born a son, and he called his name Enos. Then began men to call upon the name of the Lord. That is so important, because this is, the population is starting to grow already. Again, Adam and Eve is the mother, and Adam is the father, and they are bearing fruit, which is having children, and we're starting to see that there's more and more coming out, more and more children coming out. So you have Cain, who was able to still have children, and then you also have Eve bearing another child, and that child being Seth. And Seth is very important, so take note of Seth. But listen to this. This is really important as well. Here in chapter 4, where it says that, and in the process of time it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord. And Abel he also brought of the firstling of his flock and of the fat thereof. And the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering, but unto Cain and to his offering he had no respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. So we have Abel, who is bringing the first, or the youngling of the sheep of his flock, the firstlings of his flocks, to the Lord. And then we have Abel, who is a tiller of the ground. Remember, we just read in the previous chapter that the ground is cursed. It's cursed as in because blood has been, or sorry, not blood, but because of the original hardship that was given upon. So originally that the earth was being able to replenish and be refreshed because the blessing was there. But then because Adam and Eve did what they did, part of the issue became, part of the curse became that the earth would no longer replenish itself, that Adam had to work until the earth, therefore it was considered cursed. And so now you have Cain, who is tilling ground and then providing things from the ground, which is a representation of something that is no longer blessed, no longer looked at as this is a blessing unto you. Remember, the Lord sees these things and he knows what he has done and what he has instruction he has provided, and yet here is Cain going against things such as even asking God, hey, is this going to be something that I can offer to you? Is this something that I can go ahead and say that this is my offering to you as praising, as giving thanks? Or is this something is there something else that I should? Instead, he just goes out and does it. So a fair warning, bringing past to present. When we act accordingly, so when we take it upon ourselves to act on our thoughts and feelings, prepare for circumstances and consequences. Prepare for things to come, because we have taken it upon ourselves to just utilize our own thoughts and feelings and what we believe to happen. Okay, so even when you are a believer, if you don't go to God, if we don't go to God every single time, be prepared, because nowhere in the Bible does it say that you will not bear the consequences. It does say, however, there is a difference between someone who believes, someone who is saved, and someone who is not. The consequences may be in time, but we won't have to deal with the everlasting, which is the second death, which we read in Revelations. So we won't have to deal with that because we believe in the Lord and we believe that we are forgiven of sins. If you don't, then not only are you dealing with consequences now, but you're going to deal with the consequences for eternity. Sin equals death. And we think, and we've already went over this in the previous Bible study. If you're brand new, I'm going to give you a little boom. Here it is. Death is not what we talked about or what we think about. It is what we talked about in the previous Bible study in Revelation. But it's not what we think about and what we talk about on a day-to-day basis as to a cease of existence. It's not us going into the ground. It is it's a death. It is a death by lake of fire. And so It's something to think of when understanding the significance of knowing what it means, what sin, how impactful sin is, and why we need to be washed of it, and why we have a Lord and Savior that freely has done it for us, already done the work, already fought the battle and won and has the victory, and we now have the victory in Jesus. Before we go on, though, what kind of thoughts or feelings come to your mind when we read over this? How does it make you feel, and what does it make you think?